Okay, so the point of this video is to give you a little bit of an overview or introduction to MobyMax. And this is the actual MobyMax website, but I prefer for the login, you can sign in from here, which is fine, but I like just going to Google or saving that to my favorites once I have the sign-in screen, which is this one. And you'll need to make sure that sometimes students may get this a little bit confused. They need to be on student, you need to be on teacher. And if you don't already have a MobyMax account set up, you need to probably set one up with this link, and it'll take you through some prompts and you'll have an account. For your students, you will actually create an account for them. They will not do that. And I also recommend, just suggestion for you, is to set yourself up once you have a teacher account as a student as well, because the things that students see are a lot different than what the teacher view has, and so I think that's pretty convenient. So I am going to go ahead and log in to my MobyMax account. And sign in. Okay, so this is what the dashboard for MobyMax looks like. And up here you will see that there are a variety of subjects. Pretty much everything that you can think of is right there for you. There are a couple different ones that are math related. And all of these have to have an assessment done first before you're actually allowed to use the actual app. So you'll take a math assessment and it'll assess how the kids do, and then it will start them off with something that is specific to their level so that they're working on personalized learning and progressing through that. The other thing that I want to show you is the classroom tools. So in order to create an account for your students, you'll just go to roster, and I already have my students in here from last year. All I would need to do is just bulk delete those students, and then I can start fresh. Then I can register a new student. I can do that one by one, or you can do what's called bulk register students, and it gives you two options here. Option one is where MobyMax automatically creates usernames and passwords for all of your kids, and then option two is where you can actually create the usernames and passwords for your students. And I recommend option two just because it makes everything uniform for your class. So I'm just going to do a few names here to show you. So I'm going to input all of my students' first names, and I would go 1 through 22 if I was doing my full class, and then I would do last names. And then I would continue. Then you can do a student ID. I recommend maybe like a lunch pin. It's just in case they would forget their password or whatever, so it's really kind of irrelevant to even do that, but I think it requires you to do it anyway, so we'll just go with it. And then you would continue, and this is where you need to make sure these are all grade 2 so that they're taking the correct assessment and doing the correct tutorials and working towards the goals required for 2nd grade. And then you would continue. And then this is where you really need to make sure that you know what you want to use for their usernames. Last year I just had everyone use their first name was their username, and then I had them use their last name as their password. You could do the ASDF, you could use first name, last name as their username, and lunchpin as their password. Whatever you prefer. I would recommend that you kind of set that up to how you want it so that you know if some kid forgets his password, you know that, hey, your username is your first name, your password is your last name. So that's kind of easy to deal with, and you can get right into it. So then I have created all of this, and then I will actually register the students. So then they are registered, and there's my roster, and it just told me that Alex was a duplicate, so you'll just have to make sure of that, if it's a first name, last name, that you don't duplicate any, because the whole school is using this actual account too. So that's how you set up your roster. The time is just for maybe setting a time for math, setting a time for science, setting a time for reading, so you can create that. And it tells you, it's pretty good about what you need to do. It'll tell you how much time you can work at school, how much time you can work at home. I'm not sure if Mr. McCoy is wanting us to send the passwords home with them so that they can work with them at home, because he kind of wants it to be a treat. I don't know. So then you can go back home. The wall is kind of just like, it's almost like Remind 101, where you just send out reminders, messages, assignments. You can do an assignment here, an event, or you can have students take a survey from MobyMax's website, which is kind of convenient. Then you have where you can print worksheets, and it has all grade levels, which is great for differentiating amongst your high and low level learners. And then it has all of the subjects that they offer. So you can go ahead and print those if you would like to use those outside of the computer lab. Clicker is something where you can create an active session, and basically you can use it much like the clicker tools, or you can create a session, and I would use this as like a test or a pre-test or a quiz, or just for your own personal information to test on a specific topic that maybe you want to see who's struggling and who's not. All you do is create a new active session, and this is where you can save tests and bring them back up, but I'm going to create a new test. I am assigning it to all students. If you want to change that, you can click the little roster thing here to the side. So let's say I want to pre-test on money. And then I would hit next. And this is where you can create your own problems, or you can select a problem from the MobyMax curriculum. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the MobyMax curriculum. They have a ton of questions in here. All you have to do is search and select, and so you can actually view the question that they might be seeing, and this is what it will look like to your students. They can press the speaker button and can hear what is expected, and then they can also hear all of the options, and that's what it would look like. So if I decide I want to use that question, I'm going to add it. So we'll just say we're going to add these 8 questions in there, and that's going to be their pre-test. Okay, and there are tons and tons of questions that you can add in there. You can even add some from previous units that you want to go ahead and see what they remember. So then that creates an active session for them. It'll show you the student results after they've taken them. It'll show you what the actual question is, what they're struggling on, and then you can create a report to show you exactly what the strengths and weaknesses were and go back and reteach if needed. So that's a good thing. The messenger I've not really used or am familiar with a whole lot. But the best thing I can say is you'll need to play around with it. I'm self-taught and I'm still learning every day some new things that it offers, but the good news is it comes with several tutorials. The help is a great thing to utilize as well. Badges are something that you can use for motivation. And what a badge is it basically means that your student or your class has reached a goal. So you can adjust these goals to fit what your students' needs are. And they may work through 50 questions and then they receive a badge. Or they may score 4 100s in a row, they receive a badge. And you can print those out and keep track of them however you want to do it, or you can just leave them on there is fine too. The Games app is good because you can actually adjust their game time. Say they've earned game time and you want to increase their time, or maybe they are not on task and you want to decrease their game time because they're rushing through something. All I'm going to do is you can select these individually, but I am going to do it, say the whole class was really, really good during lab time. I'm going to click Adjust Game Time, and I can add 10 minutes. And then I would save it. So now they've accumulated that much time. And then if they achieve the 20 minutes, they unlock a new game for themselves. So that's good too. If I go back home, one of the things that I really like is the vibes, and it's just another motivational deal where, let's say Chandler was on task and she was helping another student out. So I could give vibes to Chandler. One is I could do one for helping out. And then she was working hard. So this just creates another way that you can give a compliment without disrupting your entire class. So if I give those vibes, it will show up immediately on Chandler's login, and she'll be able to see what you have said and what you appreciate, and that will motivate her to maintain that on-task behavior. So that's a really cool thing that you can use to motivate kids. And it's really neat because you can see their face light up when they receive the message. The other thing is contests. I've not really used that a whole bunch, but it will walk you through everything. You can create contests between groups in your class. So you can maybe your group A, group B, group C, and create contests, so that makes them a little bit more motivated to want to compete against the other groups. Or you can do all school contests where all of the second grade classes can compete against each other, and so they constantly want to beat someone in the other class, or whatever the case may be. So that's kind of what contests are, and it gives you a tutorial when you first click on it, so that you can kind of get an idea of what it entails. And then these are just extras. This deals with the Moby tablet, which we don't have, so you don't have to worry about that. So that is a basic overview of MobyMax. And like I said, I was self-taught. I had no idea about any of this. I just kind of played with it. And I think that's the best way that you can learn. And I'm still learning stuff every day. So hopefully you found this helpful.